Hello again, Dino Roll fans. So I want to start this video off by showing these two boxes. I opened it up, it's broken. But I don't think I can really go after the seller because it came in this shipping box. And then that box was inside this box. So there's three boxes in here and it's still broken, but you'll see why. So before we do that, let's talk about this dinosaur here. This particular Dino Roll is the Mamenchisaurus hochuanensis. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. So this dinosaur here is basically known for to have a neck half the length of its body. These things roamed around in China in the Jurassic period, and there's many different species of different sizes, but this one, the hochuanensis, is around 22 meters long and like 15 to 20 tons they're guessing. Alright, so there's an herbivore. Okay, so that's all I care about to learn about this thing. Well, hold on a sec. When was it discovered? So Wikipedia says one of these Mamenchisaurus was first discovered in 1952, but the one in question today, they started digging it out in 1957, but they didn't really describe it until 1972. So, weird time machine of information. Alright, well anyways, so this is wave 4, letter D, and here are the other dinosaurs from this wave. If I could focus on that thing, there you go. So 3 predators on this side, and 3 prey, I guess, on this side. Although this maybe could have been a predator, I'm not sure. There's some sort of information here. I never see a date on these boxes. No idea how old this thing is, but I think it's from the not too long ago. There's also something here for the Chongqing Museum, where maybe they have this on display. Not sure. And so that's a rigid box, and then it has this credit card thing. I think you can scan that. It might go to an app. Then you have this thing sitting outside, and some other dinosaurs that might be coming down the pipeline. And then you have some story about each of the 6 figures here, and on the back they talk about that app, but I've never actually done it. Then a little card about the museum itself, and some blurb on that. And so you have this nice dense foam one associates with some electronic equipment, but when I pulled this out earlier like this, I noticed the tip of the tail is broken off. And the reason I think why is look how close it is. This is a big dinosaur, probably the biggest one I've gotten, but you know, yeah, it's rigid plastic, and that doesn't take much force to hit that box. So, I guess I'm just going to have to accept this. I can't blame the seller, you know? I'm just glad the piece is still in here. I'm going to have to go and glue this. But yeah, I'm going to see a seam line probably. Let's take a look here at this plastic. I guess that's as good as I can focus it. It's a pretty smooth surface. There's no porosity or anything like that. There's a little bit of paint hanging out on the bottom there. I don't want to touch that or it's going to chip off. So let me come back after I poorly fix this thing. Well, that's as good as I can get it. It fits very fine. It's just that the red paint chipped off on that piece, and then a little chunk of other plastic chipped out of that there. But on this side, it's close to impossible to actually tell that it broke, which is nice because it has these grooves elsewhere. I'm gonna have to touch that up with some paint on my own. Okay, what's nice is we have this nice skeleton down here, you know, a cartoon, and it looks like it's embedded in rock. There's like a brown paint wash over that thing, and then it's a nice thick base and stuff. I only wish it told you what the dinosaur was. You'll notice it's actually not evenly spaced. It's kind of like flatter here. So then it's rolling this like geode or perhaps a dinosaur egg, and it's got a texture on it, and then these red stripes and some, I guess, brown and yellow dots on it. The toes or claws are painted black, although not really well considering. You can see so much there, but black is an easy paint to match, so not too bad. The foot there is really smooth on the bottom, and then it looks like it has skin like an elephant, not scales, more like skin. Careful of that tail there. Maybe like an air pocket. I have a suspicion these are hand casted in silicone molds or something. but it does look seamless, which is what makes me think it was casted in a more flexible mold. Okay, the dinosaur is probably separate from this, just glued in place. You can see this red fading. Perhaps it's a dry brush even, actually. It's not an airbrush, because it's clearly yellow here, so they may have dry brushed that. But other parts, it's faded so well, it probably was airbrushed. So maybe they airbrushed like here, and then they dry brushed a little extra here. On the back we have this yellow and red, I think it's yellow tampo printing, but then I think they went over it with a red paint wash. You can see the fading and the roughness of it. That paint is generally matte finish, but the yellow printing looks a little bit glossier. Alright, so then this really dark red up top, and then this long neck. Okay, it's got some nice textures, varying ridges and whatnot. I assume this must be like the ear canal. It's recessed quite a bit. And then the scaling, or it looks like scales here, very small, fine. It's got these glass eyes looking up and backwards with this. Look at that, you can really see. It almost looks like a different creature. This looks like a smiley, or like some sort of mouth, right? It almost looks like Admiral Akbar. It's funny. Okay. Alright, so yeah, the mouth is just overhanging. There's no additional paint or anything showing like any sort of interior color. The nostrils are nice and deep, and it looks like there's black paint in them. Okay, so that's all in all pretty good. So it's a really cool, Dino Roll. It's probably the longest one I have, possibly. But obviously you saw the problem with the packaging. I think like it makes sense that the box is that size, just based off the other ones I've collected. I think what the sculptor should have done is made this tail shorter. The tail should have stopped right here, just taper it much further. But they try to make it so long, it's just too close to the edge. So this is a warning: if you buy this particular Dino Roll, I don't think any amount of packaging is going to keep it from being safe from being dropped. Like the outside of that exterior box shows no indication that this thing was dropped. Did maybe the seller sell me a broken figure? I suppose it's possible, but I don't think so. Okay. Alright, so here, this might be my second longest. This is the Amargasaurus from the third wave. And from the first wave we have this Stegosaurus. So, all different colored eyes. They're all coolly sculpted. But I think it's just maybe a bad idea to make these out of rigid resin. I almost wish they were made of the softer PVC that you find in like art toys, like Pop Mart stuff, and a lot of the other figures I've reviewed. I would much rather have this soft vinyl and survive a wreck and give up maybe some of the detail. I mean, this thing is so well detailed, I will say it looks awesome, but some of the PVC dinosaurs I have, they still look awesome. Maybe 10% less detailed, but they're durable. I think I'd rather have that. So in the really random chance that Kong Species Studios sees this video, you either sculpt the things shorter so the packaging does its job, or consider maybe having a more flexible dinosaur. I suppose you could still keep that rigid and just glue a more flexible dinosaur to it. Well, I think you've had enough time to see the other ones rolling around. Okay, well, still pretty happy. Yeah, it's always sad to buy something expensive and then have it show up broken. But I think I'll be able to blend some red paint together and clean that up. But I'm afraid, boy, I'm really afraid to drop any of these things. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next Dino Roll.